Call girl gone wild, and not just any girl, the call girl who brought down the governor of New York. Tonight there are startling new pictures of Ashley Dupre as everyone, including her, scrambles to cash in on her 15+ minutes of fame.
And AJ, tonight, Showbiz Tonight dares to ask, is there really anything wrong with that? She may be the most talked about woman in America who's not running for president. She's all over the newsstands. She's at the center of one of the juiciest stories of the year. Songs she's posted on MySpace have been downloaded hundreds of thousands of times. And she may soon appear on one of the biggest video series in the country.
She's everywhere. Americans want to know about this girl.
She's America's newest it girl. Oh, and did we mention that she's a prostitute? Us Weekly has just revealed for the very first time exclusive photos of Ashley Alexandra Dupre, the call girl who's the reason New York Governor Elliot Spitzer is now former New York Governor Elliot Spitzer. Sure, we may not see this new it girl throwing out the first pitch at a baseball game or hosting Saturday Night Live. But Us Weekly's Ian Drew tells Nancy Grace now is the time for Ashley Dupre to cash in.
She could make anything, but she has to strike right now.
But Showbiz Tonight can tell you, how is it that a prostitute can get such instant fame?
You cannot get away from Ashley Alexandra Dupre.
Alicia Quarles of the Associated Press tells Showbiz Tonight offers are lining up for Dupre.
She's been offered spreads in Hustler and Penthouse, reportedly offered a vodka contract. Another amazing offer that Ashley Dupre got was from Joe Francis of Girls Gone Wild.
The founder of Girls Gone Wild, Joe Francis, also made Ashley an offer, although his turned out to be a bit premature.
He initially offered her $1 million to do one of his tapes. Lo and behold, he said, wait a minute, I renege on the offer because he's got plenty of footage of this girl.
Apparently, in 2003, Ashley Dupre spent a week going wild on the Girls Gone Wild bus. After the Spitzer scandal broke, the Girls Gone Wild website started promoting the steamy video, but questions about whether Ashley was 17 when the video was shot have delayed its release. Ashley Dupre laid low after the Spitzer scandal, but some are troubled by her instant fame.
What kind of message are we sending to our youth saying that this girl who dropped out of high school, who went on the Girls Gone Wild bus, who slept with the governor of New York, who was paid for it, is now a superstar? This is kind of ridiculous.
Ashley Dupre's photos in Us Weekly were taken before the Spitzer scandal began. As far as the Girls Gone Wild videos go, the company says it didn't do anything illegal.
All right, so everyone is cashing in on Ashley Dupre, including her. But I gotta ask, is there anything really wrong with that? Everybody's got to make a buck, right? Joining us tonight in New York, Jane Velez-Mitchell, investigative journalist and author of the fine book, Secrets Can Be Murder. In Hollywood tonight, Howard Bragman, the founder of 15 Minutes PR. Howard, Jane, we just saw Ashley Dupre. She's everywhere, including those exclusive photos in Us Weekly. A lot of people just shaking their head, really not feeling good about the fact that, she's getting all this money and she could actually become a multi-millionaire from all of this, and probably will. Jane, what do you think? Is there anything wrong with her making a buck off all this?
Well, I feel very bad for Mrs. Spitzer and their 3 teenage daughters who are old enough to know what's going on, because this controversy and this tension that's given to Ashley is just putting the scandal in their face over and over again. But I certainly don't blame Ashley. I blame Elliot Spitzer. He's the one who broke his marital vows. He's the one who hired a prostitute at the same time as he was crusading against prostitution and busting prostitution rings. What a hypocrite. This woman, on the other hand, was a struggling woman, says at one point she was homeless, and that's part of the exploitation of prostitution. So good for her that she turns a negative into a positive. I think she has a legitimate story to tell. I hope she gets a book deal. I think she should have a reality show, and I think that she is not to be blamed in this situation. She is part of the entire exploitation of prostitution, and it's the John who's at fault.
And speaking of the alleged John, I'm just going to throw the alleged word in there for everything you just said about our former governor. Now, Howard, you are the genius publicist that we brought along to the program tonight. What do you think? I mean, it feels like America. Would you tell her, as her publicist, if you ever had that job, strike while the iron's hot, Ashley? Grab $1 million here or there while you got your 15 minutes.
AJ, I got tuna salad in my refrigerator that's got a longer shelf life than Ashley does, okay?
All right.
She does not This girl is not a superstar. This girl is a sad girl who's been put in a horrible position. She can't get another job. She can't go back to her old job, and she needs to make as much as she can and then go away, ride into the sunset, and shut up. And you feel bad for everybody. Most of all, I think Mrs. Spitzer. I feel bad for Ashley. The governor, he has to sleep in his own bed, so to speak. But it's a sad situation, but this is not 15 minutes of fun, I assure you.
So what you're saying, even for an alleged hooker, lemonade out of lemons?
Exactly. It's not a happy time. This is not what little girls should be aspiring to.
No, I think we can all agree on that, Howard. And we've heard in other new developments that Dupre may actually be seen in this Girls Gone Wild video that it was shot several years ago, possibly when she was underage. Now, Jane, even though it may be technically legal to sell this video when the dust settles here, does it bother you that Girls Gone Wild could actually make a buck off of this in a way?
Yeah, it totally bothers me. I'm no fan of Joe Francis. He's done jail time. He's faced a slew of civil, criminal, and tax problems, and there's a reason for that. It's the way he conducts business. This man essentially takes advantage of very naive, very young women who are in a state of euphoria, and their guard is down because they're on spring break and they're partying. Sometimes they're intoxicated, and then uses their bodies as commodities by selling images of their private parts and their breasts. I mean, how reprehensible, and yet another woman, Ashley, caught in that web.
But there's like the supply and demand thing going on, because if you take a step back, in a strange way, America has sort of embraced her. As sad as her story is, they're clicking on her website, buying her song. You can bet they're going to buy the magazines, and if the Girls Gone Wild video comes out, they'll buy that too. Howard, is the public just as guilty here?
You know what the public's guilty of? Bad taste. Have you listened to her music? I mean, the public, there's an appetite for this, AJ. That's why people buy the tabloids. That's why people buy the salacious magazines and go to the websites. It is supply and demand. And yeah, the public has to take a little responsibility for this, but morally questionable, not illegal, and it's certainly not going to go away.
All right, Howard Bragman, go throw out that expired tuna salad. Jane Velez-Mitchell, I appreciate you joining us as well. And I need for you to know that you can now watch video reports from Showbiz Tonight anytime on our website. New ones going up all the time at cnn.com/showbiztonight.